Hello and welcome, everyone. This is Kaylin's English podcast. This podcast is designed for English learners. I'm here to help you practice your listening skills. I'm Kaylin, a professional English teacher on italki. How are you today? Have you been well? I'm doing fantastic. Today, let's talk about education. Many people have gotten some sort of education while growing up. Some people have taken their education even further and have attended higher education. I'm going to talk to you about the various subjects and types of education that you can expect in the United States of America. When I was a small girl, I did not attend preschool, also known as pre-K, which stands for pre-kindergarten. This is not mandatory in Ohio. My mom was a stay-at-home mother, so she opted to not have my siblings and I attend preschool. My mother taught us various things that we would have learned in pre-K. We learned how to tie our shoes, use buttons, snaps, and zippers. She taught us the alphabet, how to read, colors, shapes, numbers, and some basic math, how to write our names and other words, and how to spell. When we started kindergarten at the age of 5, we were more than prepared to be there. Kindergarten varied with how long we needed to be in school for in a day. We were there 5 days a week, but not always all day. We had various half days where we left at lunchtime a few times a week. We did not have nap time at the school I attended, but some schools do have nap time for kindergartners. We did have snack time every day, though. My favorite snack was pretzels and chocolate milk. At school, we would finger paint, learn the alphabet, learn to write, learn shapes, learn colors, simple math, and various other basic skills, which I mostly already knew as I was taught at home. After 1 year of kindergarten, I went to first grade. I was 6 years old when I started first grade. First grade taught me more subjects such as history, spelling, geography, English, science, physical education, and music. Of course, I continued with art, reading, and math classes. First grade was the first time that I went to school full-time from around 8:15 a.m. to 3 p.m. After first grade, I went to second grade, then third grade, then fourth grade, then fifth grade. These grades are classified as elementary school. The subjects basically stay the same throughout, except they become harder as you advance on. One new class added was computers, where we learned how to type and use various software. Also in 5th grade, I had to take a mandatory state examination. This exam dictates if we can continue to middle school. Also, it gives information to the state government how the school is doing with the mandatory educational goals that every school must obtain to gain funding. We also learned in 5th grade the name of every state in the United States of America and also their capitals. Every state has a capital city where the official state government is located. After elementary school, I attended middle school, also known as junior high school, which consists of 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. I also had to take a mandatory state examination in 8th grade, which dictated if I went to high school. This exam is also for the government to determine funding. However, current students do not have to take this exam, as they have revised it and it is now given in high school. Middle school was more difficult as we learned things like Shakespeare, algebra, anatomy, how to write an academic essay, do book reports, and the names of European countries and their capitals as well. I never learned any languages besides English while in grade school. Grade school is another name for expressing grades 1st through 8th. After grade school, I went into high school. High school consists of freshman year, also known as 9th grade, sophomore year, also known as 10th grade, junior year, also known as 11th grade, and senior year, also known as 12th grade. High school started in the day a bit earlier than grade school, as we started it at 7:45 a.m., and we also got out of school earlier at 2:15 p.m. In high school, you have core classes, which are mandatory, and optional classes. The core classes consisted of English, science, math, and history. You must take these courses, or you could test out of them, which meant you could either advance onto the grade above or potentially start higher education sooner. There were different options when it came to every class, including the core ones. For example, you could take regular English class or advanced English class. There were a variety of science classes that you could choose from, such as human anatomy, biology, and chemistry. Also, we were able to take language classes. I only had 2 options at my school, and they were French and Spanish. I chose Spanish and took only 2 years' worth of that class. Our history classes weren't always the same every year. Each year covered something different, such as social studies, American history, economics, and geography. I had to take American history my senior year, as the school found it appropriate because it taught us about the system of elections and voting. That was important as many of us turned 18 years old while being a senior in high school, which is the age we can register to vote. We also had to take physical education for 2 out of the 4 years in high school. Some of the optional courses included various art classes, such as stained glass, painting, ceramics, calligraphy, and basic art. We also had home economics, which taught us how to sew, cook, and do laundry. We could also take cooking classes, as well for 2 years. Computer science, which taught various basic things like how to use Microsoft Office applications. I also took a class in interior design, where I learned how to make a house blueprint, and then how to decorate various rooms from the blueprints that we made. And we also had study hall, which wasn't a class, but a place to sit and study or do homework. I took most of the art classes, the home economics class, both cooking classes, computer classes, and interior design. The school year consisted of 2 semesters, and you had to make a schedule each semester, then submit it for approval. It was essential to get this done as soon as possible, as you might be denied one of the fun optional courses. Optional courses had a mixture of all years of students, so they were not strictly your age group or class. While in high school, I had 2 years where one of my brothers was in the school too. We somehow did not have any of the optional courses together during those years. I did, however, have some of his friends and classmates in them with me. While in high school, we had school dances. Every student could attend homecoming dances that happened once a year close to Christmas time. If you were a junior or senior, then you could attend prom, which happened near the end of the school year. Younger classes were not allowed to attend unless a junior or senior took them. With this dance, you needed to fill out paperwork with your dates and get it signed by one of each of your parents. I went to both my junior and senior year proms. I had 2 different dates each year. Both were just friends of mine. When you finish your 4 years of high school, then you can go on to higher education. As we are running out of time, I will go through higher education in another episode, and the various degrees that you can achieve. I almost forgot to mention that before graduating from high school, students should take either the SATs or ACTs. You could take both, but most people only choose one. These were exams that are required by universities to judge whether they should accept a student into their school. These exams, of course, covered all the core subjects. I took the ACTs, and my scores helped me gain acceptance letters from all 3 of the universities that I applied to, which meant I had a tough decision to make. To end this episode, let us go over some of the vocabulary and terms that were used during this episode. Preschool, pre-K, kindergarten, elementary school, grade school, middle school, junior high, high school, higher education, mandatory, examination, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, home economics, Shakespeare, social studies, geography, human anatomy, algebra, school dances, homecoming dance, prom, degrees, SATs, and ACTs. I hope this episode has given you a bit of an insight to education in America, or at least in Ohio, as education standards vary per state. I hope you can now describe at least part of your journey through school. That is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed. If you'd like more content, then please subscribe to this podcast. You can also support me on Patreon. Find me by typing in Kaylin Teacher. On Patreon, you can gain early access to the podcast and transcriptions. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Kaylin_teacher. Thank you for listening. I hope you all have a great day. Until next time, bye!